Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP Podcast Reviews Edition. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me are two of my best friend. I'll start with the man with the pink headset, CHUBAX. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. Sorry for the light. I am down another ring light, but I'm happy to be here with my buddies.
Uh, Also with us, waking up or staying up at ungodly hour in his time zone is Arnie. How are you doing, Arnie?
Hello. I woke up in an ungodly hour, but I'm good. Ready to talk Avatar.
Yes, and as mentioned, we are reviewing and diving deep into the second half of the seemingly the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender live action out on Netflix. So episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you haven't seen the show, watch it, and then come back here or pause this, go watch it, come back here. We have the first half in a previous episode, and we're going to wrap up first season in the second half in this episode. So, quick housekeeping. If this is your first time here, welcome. We have a stable of podcasts for your entertainment. We are on youtube.com/plus63hp, where on Mondays and Tuesdays, we try to drop a review of a particular show or movie that has recently come out, so you can be informed whether you should watch it with your friends and your family. On Wednesdays, we drop our D&D show where a bunch of a bunch of 40-year-olds play their very first D&D campaign. Were recorded and then put it out on YouTube for posterity. Thursdays, we typically drop a curation of clips, featurettes, trailers, for content that will be dropping soon. And we give it a plus or minus depending on how hyped we are for that type of content. And on occasion, CHUBAX and our other bestest best friend RJ does a second D&D campaign where they play bad guys. So we try to fill in your week with multiple shows for your viewing pleasure. And we'd love it if you'd like and subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to interact with us, we're on all of the socials, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The handle is at plus63hp. And if you do not want to watch our faces, you can just listen to us while you're working or you're doing your chores. We prefer Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon, but we're in everything. And most importantly, if you want to join us while we record over the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays from 9:30 Eastern to around 12:30 Eastern uh, mornings, and 10:30 Philippine time to around 1 o'clock Philippine time. Join us on Twitch plus twitch.tv/plus63hp. Now, housekeeping is over. Before we dive into episode by episode and provide our ratings, let's just do initial reactions for the second half of Avatar: The Last Airbender. CHUBAX, let's start with you.
I really enjoyed it. It was a big step up for me from the last one. I think I was the lowest one last time. I gave it a 7. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think this one was a lot better done. Some issues with how it ends. Maybe the climax, but uh, and one actor in particular that really didn't I didn't vibe with, but aside from that, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And
All right.
my scene of the series is in, I think, episode 5 or 6. Anyways, but yeah, I really liked it. And
Probably six.
my critic about the cuts, there's still some, but it's a lot less here than the first 4
Yeah,
episodes.
they're learning how to do it. I'll do mine before I pass it on to Arnie. We're the opposite. I
Oh,
got
really?
Yeah, I got a little bit more bored the second half,
Oh,
considering that they
that's
had
different.
more action. Right? It's weird, right? So I just I didn't realize it until I think episode 7 when Ang mentioned that he went on a journey to learn all of the other bendings, and then I realized like he has not learned anything at all. He has not practiced anything at all. He
No,
hasn't
but
done anything.
nobody was you learn from a master, and he hasn't found one.
Exactly. That's just kind of like my overarching method. Like all of the main things about the season doesn't really go like he needs to go here, but to always stop. So that kind of harks to him helping out everybody.
But that's
I
also the
just
issue. That's also an issue in the series.
yeah,
Like you've been going over and you haven't learned anything.
100%. And I think that's his character too. That was built
Mm-hmm.
in his character. He's different from all of the other avatars too. Especially we'll talk about that episode by episode every time he speaks to them. Um, I think it's because apart from maybe episode 6, I really enjoyed episode 6. That was like I think my favorite episode of the season. But apart from that, the acting has really, really shown. Like it wore down on me now that I've seen it like straight up. Ooh, like I even tried to watch Cormier, the Ang's interview in the Tonight Show. It's like, oh, he's just not one. Not only are they kids, but even if they're kids, they're really not charismatic at all.
It's their first one talaga.
Yeah, it's that you can really see. Plus, he's Canadian, or most of them are Canadian. So I think they haven't really had that ingrained.
I think
Um,
I think we need to give them some slack kasi one, it's not like, especially for him, I don't think he was looking to act until they found him. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like they found him specifically for this character. It's not like he was the
mhm,
one auditioning and having roles in other stuff.
yeah.
So I think he deserves some slack.
I,
And
and
I
that's
don't think he
again,
was the
that's
weakest. I think Katara's weaker than him,
Katara
acting
is the weakest.
wise.
I think now, well, in the first half, I thought Katara was okay. In the second half, when specifically when she started trying to like have a bigger voice and be more excited about her bending. It's like, oof, okay, it's
Yeah.
really being highlighted. But I mean, that's the weakness of any child actor. But we have
And then
like
you
Netflix has
have
shown us
Soka
really, really good.
bouncing back and forth. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad.
And
Cool.
again,
Soka.
that's the thing too. It's like we
Yeah.
have, particularly for me, the reason why I think this acting wise and I think pacing wise was a lot weaker than me, but a lot of people have been comparing Avatar season 1 versus Percy Jackson season 1, because they were saying like, how come Disney Plus it's half hour, Netflix is an hour, Disney doesn't know how to use their budget, etc. They have approximately the same budget, so but one no uh um Percy Jackson had 15 million. Avatar: The Last Bender has 20 million per episode. So that's the big comparison. But that's the other side where Percy Jackson, Stranger Things, there's a lot of shows with kids that I typically don't like watching, but have really, really, really strong actors carrying the series. And then you have this where, okay, it's new.
Well,
So,
for
but that's always the
Percy,
pitfall.
I think most of them are actors tala eh.
Yeah.
No, I
Most
mean,
of
I'm
them are
saying
actors.
it's
And
the same thing. Like
no, it's easier to cast something like Percy because you're going off a book. There's no real there's no real
I
image of them.
totally
Eh,
you're arguing yourself. This would be a lot easier if you have actual people who have
No, it's hard.
acted the things that they needed to do. It's an animation. So you have, if you're
No,
talking about bases, there's bases.
it's harder to find somebody that has an image already. See, you have someone that you've seen the cartoon that's been acted and
Oh, no, no,
emoted
yeah.
and
Well,
acting, and you're getting somebody to look like that instead of a book where you're just basing off a description. It's
no, I
easy.
mean, again, when you think about that statement again next time, it's the same thing because you can change, you can be true to the book, you can gender bend, you can do whatever that you want. Maybe it's a little bit more difficult with Avatar, but are you basically saying there's no Asian kids that can can act well as kids?
Well, why don't they
So,
use them then?
well, I
If
mean,
they're
I think
what?
it's
I
just,
think it's
I
harder to
think
get
they
somebody like that.
again, it's always hard to cast. It's not the
No, but
first series
you
with
don't think it's harder to cast for an anime live action than a book?
no. I
I
think
think it
everything is
is
the
because
same.
no, I think it's harder because from the reactions of people from anime live actions, it's been harder to cast them than we've been doing books,
It's the
translations
reaction is
from.
bad if the acting is bad. If the results are good, I think they wouldn't mind. I think they were much more truer
But
to the
that's
anime
my point. It's
characters
been
this time.
harder to cast. It's harder to
I
cast
I I
something.
I will vehemently agree because in the end, this is the job of a casting director to pick
Yeah,
correct
but
actors.
why do you think it's been harder to have a good live action actors? Is it because all of their casting sucks?
No,
Or
I
is
mean it's
it
just like
because
one making shows is difficult. It's I
no, no,
mean
I know,
it's
but
not just
generally live action series haven't fared as well as others. Why have
I
that?
think
Why
any
hasn't it been
adaptation,
harder?
very few
Um,
adaptations have really hit our for me have really hit that high mark. I mean,
well,
we
prior
uh
to the MCU, anything that crosses over media is hard. Uh, we've had fan
yeah,
casting, but didn't pan out, or casting that was like controversial that worked out.
that was
And
that
Yeah,
was
so
the so I listened to the Ringerverse for reviews after a series, and that's one of their main conversation too. Is like, is it because we have a previous like, is it harder to adapt versus make your own version of something only because there is a preconceived notion of
yes, I
either
think it is.
visuals or
yeah,
I think it
stories.
is.
it's always hard. 'Cause, I
It is
mean,
always hard, but I mean
I
that's
think
not
it's
on.
harder if it's if there's a visual and there's an audio
I
rather than
mean,
a
Uh,
book.
well, I mean,
anime and video game casting is always hard because
It's
the
harder than a
people,
book. Kasi a book,
because
it's
if you
because
make
the
it
book.
if you make it good, people will come. If an anime and if there's already something visual and audio, even if you make it good, if the fans don't like the feel of it or if they
mhm.
don't think it's the
Sure.
same,
I
it's gonna
mean,
be harder.
sure, but I mean, if you really want to be critical, if you look at One Piece, which we all love,
Mm,
apart from race, right? They took a lot of. I mean, you when we look at Sanji, right? That's a wig. He's a white dude. Like you can make a person look like your anime character and sound not as it becomes the look and becomes the sound depends on how they act it. So if they're good enough,
In the Yeah, but
people
I'm
will
just
have a
saying
lot more
it's
leeway.
harder. I'm just saying it's
well,
harder for an anime.
it's okay.
I'm just saying
Let's
it's
put it
harder.
this way: back in the day when they first casted Peter Dinklage as Tyrion, a lot of people
A lot, yeah.
complained that, oh, he's too good looking to be the imp,
Dude, Wolver you
and
just
then he acted, and
yeah,
everybody's like,
exactly. Just
dude, it's
I know,
ultimate
that's what I'm
example will
saying.
always
It's
be
just harder
Wolverine,
when there's a
right?
visual.
it's harder,
It's
and the
harder
thing
for
is
a
like, okay,
visual.
so staying with the Tyrion
Especially when it's a
character,
kid, then you limit your cast pa.
yeah,
So
exactly. I
it's
mean,
gonna be harder for
look
the
at Tyrion.
Well,
vis with
You
okay,
with
really
the
so
have
all
to.
visual.
right. I think we're going off
We're
topic
going
because
off.
like
No, I think you've
people are
agreed
giving their
already.
personal
Giving it's
opinion
hard.
about something that
Yeah.
the factual is it's not a good show. It's not it was not written properly, acted well enough. There's usually if for example, if the pacing was good, maybe the acting would have been helped. Or if they were very, very charismatic actors, maybe they could have carried the story. All in all here, there's not a lot of strength to make this for me a top tier show. It's not a bad show because in the end it's
No,
still
it's not. I'm not
entertaining.
saying it is.
It's,
I'm just saying it's
yeah,
harder for a
yeah.
live
No,
action to
this is my
adapt from
opinion.
an
No, I'm
anime.
saying this is my chance to tell you. Like I'm saying that it is not a bad show. I'm not saying what yours and you're saying. You're
No,
saying
no,
it's
no.
difficult. I'm saying my opinion of this is the second half was a lot worse for me than the first half because the acting has worn on me. The pacing has not won me over. I wasn't a super giant fan of the show. So even when I was watching it and things the stories were happening real time, I was getting surprised. Like, oh, I forgot that happened. So like, oh, I didn't realize that was the thing. So I was actually more blank state than more people that have been um big fans, like the very very vocal
Oh
fans.
well,
Like I
I
didn't even
wasn't a fan
consider that.
also of Avatar.
Yeah. I just like at during a certain point where it's like all right, there was a highlight really enjoyed episode 6. Even the CGI was really good with the monsters and the masks and what I was like really good with that. But as we progress, like all right, it's weaker than the first half. And then the first half was good, but again, side by side, like closest analog One Piece side by side, okay, not as good. But even like Percy Jackson, which we reviewed, like a lot of people are, at least on TikTok, I've been seeing a lot of people enjoying Avatar way more than Percy Jackson. And for me, I just can't see it. It's
I
just one of
disagree with
those
that
things
also.
where
No, I'm just
yeah,
saying what I was saying only with you. I think we're gonna be on the same level when we're reviewing this series. I'm just
yeah.
saying
Can't
that I
wait to
gave
talk.
no. I'm just saying me and Jong will probably agree on the rating and our overall score. I'm just saying that I gave a little pass on the acting of the kids because it's harder to cast on an adaptation like this. That's all.
I gave a pass. I give kids a general pass because it's very rare to have a Walker Scoville. Like very rare. Like
Yes.
it's very rare to have him to carry a show for kids. And then apart from that, sure, like the Stranger Things people were great. There's a few ch- or younger actors here or there that have carried the show. But I don't do I'm not giving it like the full pass, whether I give you more of a pass if it's anime,
I'm
or
not
and
saying
then
they
less of
did
a pass if it's a
they
book.
they did
For me,
great.
it's like it's difficult period, whether it is original, whether it is book, whether it's animation. It's for me, it's all difficult, right? But anyway, Arnie, you can do your initial reactions and go straight into your synopsis.
Well, I guess I'm more of the easier to be pleased person. I actually like the second half. Yeah, kid actors. I mean, I'm not asking for Oscar performances. At least they cared enough about the characters to
Mm,
really
yeah.
I think
care.
Ang got the energy, if not the action.
Yeah,
The acting correct.
he
It was
did the
Kotara that really
But
good.
Soka, we'll
Soka
talk about
Soka
Soka
in and
later.
out. Some scenes he's
I
okay.
have a different beef with Soka.
Some scenes.
Well, okay, let's put it this way. I've never seen these kids in other things before, so I give them a pass. It's almost like your first at bat.
Mhm.
You take one or you swing away. It's up
Besides,
to the coach.
we got ano naman. We got Zaddy Ozai and
I
Iroh
for me, I
bringing
think
Iroh's
the.
the best.
Uncle
Iroh, oh my.
Iroh
But
Ah.
ano
carried.
I was surprised with Daniel Day Kim with Ozai.
Oh
Oh,
well, Daniel Day
I
Kim is
mean,
like
come on.
Again, a lot of people
wait.
having issues with that also
Also,
with Ozai.
I did not know. Again, I researched this after I saw the season. I did not know that Iroh was younger
Younger, yes.
Then then
than
Ozai.
Daniel Day. Oh my god, blew my mind. I would say like sabi ni Uncle Iroh like, oh, he's been my idol. He paved the way for us Asian American men. So I've been following. He's like, wait, what? And then he was like, oh, you know, um, Daniel is older than me. It doesn't look like it. I look like 30 years old. It's like, but blew my mind. Blew my mind.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Yeah, he's
again,
51, no? 55 si Daniel
like
Day Kim.
yeah, 51's they came in, and
No,
Mr.
55
Kim
si
is
Daniel Day Kim is 55. Si Mr. Kim yung
yeah,
51.
51.
51. Yeah. Yeah, I think the adult actors, even Zhao, si Miles from Lost,
Leung,
they
right? Leung.
yeah, some young guys, they they carried, the roles that they
He's the
have,
one I have
they
an issue
carried it.
with.
Oh,
Is
he's the one
Zhao.
you have an issue with. Okay,
I don't know.
well,
There's some of the lines. I don't know. It's like he's delivering it like this, and then there's just a jump like that. It's not like it's bad acting. It's just not. I don't know. For me, it's just not. There's not. He wasn't building up to go like that. It was just like, and then back, and then back. And I was like, did you say that line
mm,
like that? Like, oh my god! Especially
yeah.
when he was in the last episode. Anyways, go.
Well, I mean, for me, I mean, like, well, jumping on the, it's difficult to cast, difficult to make. Anytime that there's an adaptation, I really, really set my bars low so that I don't get disappointed, especially with Avatar because of what happened,
The first one.
the first movie, the movie that came out. The kid got bullied to hell and he quit. And,
Stopped acting. Yeah.
stopped acting, and for all we know, it's kind of like the whole Jar Jar Binks and Jake Lloyd issue. Fandoms need to chill, seriously. If it's bad, it's bad. It is what it
I
is,
don't
but
know.
don't bully the actors.
I can't tell
Don't
what
bully the
happened with
actors.
them, but I think the best way would have been just keep going, right? I don't know. Like
Yeah.
if you have more stuff. But then again,
Yeah.
I don't know what
i mean
happened
i,
in their life.
I
How
mean
much bullying. I mean, what if even every day somebody got their phone and been bugging them. So
Yeah.
well,
it's hard, but
especially these days. But I mean, considering what happened with Hayden Christensen, I hated his Anakin when it first came out.
oh,
And
It's just
then,
different when that's the double-edged sword of fandom. You have a
yeah,
built-in base of people that will support you because they love the source material. But
yeah,
also again, this it's usually a vocal minority is the one that is very
exactly.
bullying, and but because the people that will shower you with praise will be less
Yeah,
vocal.
yeah,
These actors can't
yeah,
uh
exactly. And with Hayden, I mean, he took some independent roles, or some, there's also some, like Jumper was supposed to be his other franchise, but it didn't pan out.
it was good, but what it didn't
It didn't hit as hard as Anakin Skywalker. So he went away for a while. And then now, because of the Clone Wars cartoons, people have a more deeper appreciation for Anakin. So now he's back. He's getting more praise. He's getting the flowers that he deserved even a long time ago. And then when I look back at the prequels, I mean, it's just George Lucas not really being a good director. But it's just oh, controversial.
very
Ooh.
hard to make a movie.
It's hard.
It's like
And
there's
the thing
more
is,
bad movies than good ones.
exactly. And the thing is, we got so spoiled. And I say this with all the Star Wars as well. Going back to Star Wars, back when I was growing up, we only had the three movies, that stupid Ewok show, and maybe the Christmas special. So every time there's something new that comes out, whether it's good or bad, I appreciate it. So that's how I feel about this Avatar show. It's not One Piece. I actually like it better than Yu Yu Hakusho, but at least it's not Dragon Ball Evolution or the movie. So that's how I feel. All
I
right.
for me I will attribute it for me I always attribute it the most to writing and directing.
Writing and directing.
Writing
Yeah.
and directing.
for
No
me, like
matter how
for Star Wars, yeah, yes, Hayden
This one.
Christensen wasn't great, but
Mhm.
if the movie was better written, he had
he
the
Yes.
didn't
look.
have a
Eh.
lot of work with.
He had the
Again,
look.
we'll
Again,
discuss.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Chubaks and I will discuss this.
Natalie Portman is one of the best actors in her generation. She worked with what she had
It
at that
wasn't
time.
a lot.
He
And
didn't
and
have anything to showcase. Right?
Padme was a better character in
And
the
the way
cartoons.
he was written like a stalker,
Exactly.
like
Stalker,
a creepy
Again,
stalker. And then
tantrum,
Natalie Portman
but
fell for it.
but
I mean,
tantrums
Padme.
is
the
Oh
the
my
f-
god.
the fandom bullied Jake Lloyd. They bullied
Oh,
Ahmed Best. They bullied Hayden. They never bullied. Well, they didn't, but they probably did. But they never blamed George for it.
yeah,
But he's the
because again,
director.
they don't
He
want to,
he wrote everything. And then of course by the time that he felt the heat and all that stuff, and of course some personal things happened in his life, so that's why he sold it. He's done with it.
we'll
So, anyways, we'll go
we'll
back
go
to
back
that.
to
we'll
that. Yeah.
discuss this
Anyways,
next week. But I mean, again, that's why I think it's writing and directing that makes everything
writing,
because
directing, even in the show, I would even say editing,
yeah,
because it's
because like you watch again, we'll discuss it next week. But Dune is still the perfect example. So many changes,
mhm.
right? So many changes, but no one mind because the Dune fanboys aren't the ones like, why did you make the Harkonnens like that? They're not fat blobs. No, but everybody loved it because it made sense and it came out nice. Like, you
Yeah,
chopped so
again,
many things and you changed so many things. Nobody really minds because like, oh, it makes
the
sense. So
difference is Denis Villeneuve cared about the source
I'm
material,
big fan. Yeah.
whereas M. Night Shyamalan did not care about the source. He just wanted to make a movie for his kids, and I bet his kids won't even watch that stupid ass movie. But again, it's not Dev
They
Patel's
didn't even
fault.
shave Dev Patel's hair.
I know, and it's not whoever the kid who played Aang's fault. It's M. Night Shyamalan, and that's why M. Night Shyamalan got a lot of heat.
Yeah. And
Like
He did.
anytime his name comes out on the trailer, people are like, "Oh, nope, not watching that."
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, he's turned it
but
around, but still, it took a
yes,
while.
he
we
took a
saw a
while.
trailer,
It took a
a
while.
teaser trailer last week of The Watchers, right? And that's
That's an M.
M
Night
Night
Shyamalan
Shyamalan's daughter.
daughter, but
Yeah.
she change her name? She changed her
No,
name?
yeah, she's not she still uses Night with a
Yeah.
different last end, but yeah, she's now directing her own movies.
Well, The
So
That's how
Watchers,
old
we're
we
watching
are.
it later. We
God
didn't have one
Oh, we're
damn.
already.
watching it later.
Okay.
The
Anyways,
Watchers.
so let's go into the summary, man.
Yep.
Okay. So
Just
for
go
me,
fast.
episode 5 and 6, I feel like because I haven't seen the anime, but I'm sure when I get there, if I watch the anime, episode 5 and 6 were probably filler episodes that had some weight to it
Yeah,
because
5, I wasn't a fan of.
yeah, Spirited
5.
Away and Masks basically as they travel, there's I think it's a side quest. If you're an RPG fan, this is like one of those side quests that oh, there's this village that disappeared and they found this kid. Ahsoka followed the kid, and turns out the kid's brother was missing, and the village, a lot of the people there went missing. And we found out that the Avatar always has one foot in the spirit world because I guess that's also where they get their powers or something like that. Okay, makes sense. Aang meditates and then accidentally brings Sokka and Katara into the spirit world, and they get captured by a monster, Ko, voiced by
Oh,
the great George Takei.
oh, that's why
Yeah,
his
George
voice is very
Takei.
familiar.
And then, but I did like the scene with his friend Gyatso,
Gyatso.
Gatsu,
Getsu.
because that hit hard, especially when you get older. Like, oh yeah, we'll always have time, and I'm like, nope, buddy. The time is even though it's
Was
a
it
spirit
really
world.
Getsu or was he being tricked to
No,
believe?
I think
it
it
is
was him.
Gyatso, but I
Okay.
think it's Gyatso's. It's almost like those unfinished business ghosts
Yeah, and he had to
trope.
leave na. That's why he was sad na. Parang, he
Like
was
So he
like
was
faking.
waiting.
No,
he was
yeah,
waiting that he was
that
waiting to see if Aang
would visit him.
became an avatar or visit him. So I think that's his unfinished business. He knew that oh, Aang survived.
And I
He's gonna
think
be the
he only
avatar.
had one chance to see him. So that's like when
Yeah,
Ang was like, we'll do it later. He was like, I'm not gonna be here anymore. But yeah, go save your friends.
yeah, yeah. But the thing is, for me, like, okay, you know that your time is limited. It's not as if Aang solved the problem the next scene. No, it took a while for Aang to solve the problem. I
Mhm.
would have just said, "Hey, buddy, to be quite honest, I'm not gonna be back here. This is my last chance to talk to you. So any questions
I
you
that was
have?"
what I was thinking. So that's why I thought it was a trick because
Mm,
if it was the real thing and it was going to be the last conversation, he might have given a little bit more hints like, oh, it's maybe one more hug before we leave. This is the last
yeah,
time we see you.
but you know,
But he
it's
didn't
one of
ano
those
eh.
tropes, right?
He was trying to not show it.
Not
Kasi
pressure.
it would have been
Yeah,
obvious.
Yeah.
Maybe Ang would
yeah,
have seen
You
through
don't
it.
want to give pressure. Yeah.
yeah. But plus it's your typical writing trope, right? Like you know, it's a self-sacrifice. Okay, you're focused on your mission. All right, fine, you do it, whatever. Okay, so there's that. And of course the painful memory. So there's a little bit of more backstory for Soka and Katara. We found out that her mom or their mom sacrificed herself to save Katara. And we found out that Soka's dad was not really confident about Soka, and you
That
know,
was
so
rough.
that hit hard.
I forgot that happened in the anime where
Which
like
one?
You're so proud that you pass, and then when you like what?
They're like,
I'm not
you
fit
know,
to lead.
you're pasang awa, basically, right? I mean,
From your dad too. Ooh,
yeah.
smack
So
in the face.
that's rough. That monsters thing
I don't even
actually,
think pasang
you
awa.
know,
I think he failed. They
no,
passed
I
him.
mean, because I think the uncle said, well, if it weren't for him, we wouldn't be out. And then the dad's like, well, if it weren't for him, we won't even be in that situation in the first place. Like, oh, okay. All right, dad. Okay. Uh, I mean, tell us how you really feel about your
Mm.
son. But anyways, like the monster feeds on your basically your
Worst
painful
memories.
worst memories, which is actually a good monster. That could be like a D&D monster
I'm
that
sure there
would
is
be hard
somebody
to
something
kill,
like
right?
that.
Yeah. So there's that, and then of course Aang comes out of meditation state or out of the spirit world. Well, because the owl told him or something like that. And prior to that, a key moment too. Sokka, because they were all separated. Sokka found this wolf
A
that
fox, I think.
talked to
Is it
him,
a
or a
fox?
fox.
Fox.
Yeah, I think it's a fox, which will be important later on, because later on. But anyways, so Aang snaps out of gets out of the spirit world, realizes that he needs to visit Avatar Roku in the Fire Nation. So he went to the Fire Nation, which leads us to episode 6. So Avatar Roku, talked to Aang. He said that, yeah, Kiyoshi is always very, very intense.
I like the
But it
twister because
turns out,
you're thinking that ano, Roku would be like
mean.
Ozai
Right?
or
Yeah,
Shinzon. That was the original one. But then
yeah,
he's the one most like Ang.
yeah. And then the thing is that he was able to trick or steal something from Cole, the spirit, the evil spirit. So Aang was like, okay, you have to give me that totem because I need to get my friends back. And then we also see how bad it got in the Fire Nation because even the monks who were supposed to be peacemakers
Mhm.
really bought all in with the Fire Lord. So only like a few followers like protected the avatar and all that stuff. So we get that. We also get introduced to this bounty hunter that has a crush on
June is cute. I like the
Uncle
casting of June.
Uncle Iroh. So like it's always like you're lucky I didn't kill you, but because he's so cute, they're like, what? Well, yeah, it's Carson Jabba,
Daddy.
man. Yeah, she has a daddy issues. Yeah, but anyways, but yeah. So for me, an issue on that is like, okay, this bounty hunter went to the shrine in the Fire Nation, paralyzed all these monks, and wasn't caught. Hmm, he's really good.
She's really good.
Like, is he Fennec Shand or Cad Bane or what?
But I
But
think the
whatever.
temple is like on a side island or something.
It
I
could
don't
And
be,
these
know.
are
could be.
monks too, so I mean maybe they're not full
They're
fighters.
not like
Yeah.
in the middle of ano.
Yeah, and I think one of the monks is like the guy. I mean, there's a lot of people from Lost in this show. I think that's Pierre Chang or something like that. The guy in the Dharma videos. I think he's one of the monks. But anyways, but yeah. So gets captured by the bounty hunter, and she said like, "Hey, you're trying to fix the world. I like the world as it is." So it also shows a little bit of, do people really need to be saved, or some people are happy about the situation. So there's also that, but I guess with the limited amount of episodes, they really can't flesh that out yet. Maybe in season 2 they could do that. I don't know. I haven't seen the cartoons. That's why I'm, you know. And then going to episode 7. Oh, before episode 6 ended, so Zuko, which I think is I think out of the kid actors is the one who's very solid in the acting, is a Dallas Liu. Plus he actually is a martial artist. Anyways, he
Azula?
no
Zuko.
Zuko. Zuko.
Zuko, I think among the kids he's top.
Yeah.
He's the top actor, right? Uh, plus, when he gets to act against Daniel Day Kim and Uncle Iroh, you really have to bring it, right?
Yeah, they give him some good scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
Well written.
vulnerable part where he said no against like the plans of one of Daniel Day Kim's lieutenants. He was
Mhm.
very kind of like, but your plan is stupid or something like
Oh
that. It's like,
yeah,
oh, that's a good. Oh, okay, you don't have to be
yeah,
angry all the time. Yeah,
yeah.
you can act scared. I like that.
Plus, it also shows how the Fire Nation treats its assets. Right? Oh, you're just an asset. Well, use you as a distraction. You all get killed off for the
But
for
this
the
is also where I think it kind of deviated from the anime kasi they're giving more heart to
Mhm.
Ozai than I think the Ozai in the anime was just ruthless and basically evil and stuff. But
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
Day's Ozai is just he really thinks this is what's good for Zuko to get rid of weakness,
Yeah,
and it breaks his heart. But that's his philosophy: strength,
yeah.
compassion is weakness. And but I don't know if it was emphasized here enough, but that's why Zuko was torn because of the mom. The mom is like
Mhm.
compassion and stuff. So
Yeah,
that's why
because I
he
think the
had the heart
mom,
to fight.
because I think the mom is not Fire Nation, if I'm not mistaken. I think she's somewhere else. I've seen in one of those videos. Check me on the comments, or if you know the lore better than me. But yeah, anyways, so Zuko, there's a little bit more backstory with Zuko. That so it turns out that the 41st Division that he saved ended up
Yeah, that was a
being in
nice.
exile with him.
I mean, that's I was expect
It was
or
obvious, but it was a
expecting that
nice.
It's
episode.
obvious it's a cinema scene, a sin, but it made
It
sense.
worked.
So when his crew kind of like mutinied against him, Iroh had to like, hey, you guys would have been dead if it weren't for Zuko. So I think you
I think
better appreciate him more.
this one's on Iroh. He could have dropped that 2 years ago. I
Why
understand
the
not
secrecy,
say
right?
I know not saying it agad. Maybe wait a year, but it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it's
on year two.
Like
at
it's
least it
spent
wasn't 5 years. They
yeah.
didn't
Plus
expect them to find the avatar that quick.
yeah. Plus I think for me, like especially when he's as an experienced general, you would know there's like murmurs of discontent among the crew. That would have been crucial information.
I know.
Because especially to really get the full loyalty to Zuko. I mean, I if they had full loyalty, Zhao would not even find out about the Avatar because
Yeah.
nobody would have talked to his. But anyway, but
And that's why I give it 1 year
we're
because I know he knows Zuko doesn't want them to know. So maybe hold
yeah,
off for a year. But after
yeah,
a year, maybe start spreading some seeds. Yeah.
exactly. So Zuko, because he found out that Zhao was able to capture Aang, decided to rescue him in the most fortified fort, which wasn't. It didn't feel fortified to me. But anyways, he was able to save Aang, and of course, and I like the kind of speech that Zhao said, because he has like this writer, right? Like he's basically writing his headlines or whatever. Like because
He just
Aang was worried. Oh, you're gonna kill me. Like, no, I'm not gonna kill you because if I kill you, then I'll have to search you for you again. It's too much work. So you'll survive.
he just
You won't thrive, but you'll survive.
has so many line deliveries that are like off for me. I don't know why,
I
but
mean, I mean, for me, because of the actor was from Rush Hour, right? Nothing beats wipe yourself. You're bleeding.
it's just weird. It's like he'd be like in a serious tone, and then he'd say something in a weird way, and then go back. So it's like
Mhm.
it was very offbeat for me. I didn't like it.
I mean, maybe that's just the way he
It's
talks
just
or
me.
something. I
But
don't know.
this is my favorite action sequence.
Oh,
Him and
the mask,
him and
him and Ang
Zuko
working.
in the bridge. There was
Yeah,
this
because they're
move as soon as they get to the bridge where somebody throws something from behind Zuko and he does this spin and then he hits it.
yeah,
It was so
That's
yeah.
the choreography was so good and
So so,
less edits as well.
so
Even
for me,
the fight with Ozai and Zuko, less edits as well.
yeah.
Though I have to say the kicks with the fire, it's too fancy that I don't think it's gonna hit anyone. Even somebody like me, a fat slob, if you do like a roundhouse spinning kick,
Like
I'm
a
gonna dodge that shit.
looks
I mean,
cool though. I really like
there's
how it
only
looks.
one
It
way
looks
that's gonna hit me, and I'm gonna know that it's coming. But it
yeah.
does
Well,
look cool. You don't see
for
Ozai
me,
doing that shit. Did he do that shit? He did not do that.
no. Ozai is more direct. But anyways, like it feels like the old Street Fighter character Fei Long.
Yeah, yeah,
So there's a
agreed.
way if they wanted to do live action, there's your template, there's your assets, right? But yeah, but that bridge scene, the one you're talking about, even without knowing that about how the cartoon progressed, I know that they're going to be working together eventually, and I know that Zuko's going to teach Aang firebending. So spoiler alert, whatever, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, there were
Because
good
even
scenes with them, like they're
yeah,
connecting.
because even Aang said, like, in a different time, we would have been friends. Because one of his best friends was a Fire Nation before the war, right? And of course, Zuko was still
And
kind of
Zuko
like,
felt it also. He just
he's just in
still
denial. Yeah,
there's too much, yeah, into this dad. So
yeah. Anyways, episode 7 is the North. So they all made it to the Water Tribe.
here's where some of my
Katara,
issues come in.
uh, y- yeah. I mean,
They could have put more progress for Kitara in the middle episodes. How does she go from knowing a whip to using icicles in a fight with the
Well, there was like
master?
one small part about the discs in episode 5.
yeah.
I was like, cool. And then I forgot about the discs.
And
And
then
then,
she did the
bam, episode
And then
7. It's like, whoa.
she holds her own.
Mhm.
yeah,
Too much.
because I did like the water healing trope,
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
as a
Oh,
healthcare worker. Like,
this is one of my pet peeves for healing in a movie. The
mm.
blood shouldn't go away. If the cut heals, the blood will still be around it. You know what I mean?
Wipe
I
it.
think they absorb the blood. They break it down and bring
For
it
this
back.
one, I may give a pass because the water can bring the blood inside, but then that's like infection. But either way, but it's just my pet peeve. Like, if like
Yeah,
especially I want to see this for like Wolverine. If he gets cut and it heals, the blood should still be outside. It's
yeah.
like,
I
anyways.
guess they're just too lazy to wipe it.
I know.
To wipe it. But I did like the concept of it. Now, of course, as Master Paco said, is no, Paco, whatever. Water is the element of change, and yet they're the more not changing because only the men fight, the women heal. Like, oh, okay, so you're using 50% of your population and not the
And,
entire
and
thing.
if I was Ang, like when he said that he doesn't even know the elements, I'm like, he's fucking 12, bro. What do you
Exactly.
think is supposed to teach him? He just
Yeah.
learns by himself?
Yeah.
But I think they're just like they have this like super weird vision of who the
Well,
avatar is.
I know, but once
Like,
he comes here and he's fucking 12, that I mean, before that maybe, but when you see him, he's like a fucking kid.
maybe they thought that once you're an avatar, you're
You
already
just,
built in.
oh, maybe.
It's like
Yeah.
you already know everything. It's like
You're already OP without the HP.
especially because their avatar disappeared. So like, they
Yeah,
didn't know anything. Their avatar just
because
like
they thought that the Avatar disappearing is an Avatar training for 100 years. Like, no, he was frozen. He was frozen in
you're
carbonite.
just
So
sleeping, dude.
yeah, it's not like Demolition Man that there's training being implanted in you. But yeah, I mean, the whole North tribe. I mean, my favorite part. I mean, of course, a lot of people online didn't like her that much, but I think it's just the wig. The wig did suck. I
Or
get it.
who?
But Princess Yue.
Oh, yeah, it took me a while to place her, but then I remember
Oh yeah, she's the girl. She's the chick from Prey, and I'm like,
Prey, yeah.
ooh, yeah, Amber Mid
Amber Mid
Thunder.
Thunder. It took
Mm-mm,
me a while.
mm-mm.
Wait, wait.
Yep,
That's
yep.
Prey. See, she
Mm.
did it. It took me a while to. So it's just not
So
me.
s-
I didn't even
s- so
recognize
s-
her.
The
say
wig
what you will
sucks
about
though.
say what you will about the actor who played Soka, but he got to kiss two hot chicks, man.
See,
Seriously.
Yeah.
that's okay. We're at that point where this is I think what broke me with the series. Soka got two of the best women in the entire universe of Avatar by
Uh,
doing nothing within a day.
well, come on, bro.
But
I
his
No.
mean,
girlfriend turned into the
dude,
moon, man.
hanging out, dude. being in the Avatar's party, it brings
Posse,
cred. It
I
brings cred.
even if you're the avatar yourself, that's the thing too. They didn't even have a crush on the avatar himself. It's
Because
like the
he's 12.
sidekick.
He's
He's
12.
12.
Well, it doesn't matter. But for me, it's like after I I I
Hey,
thought that I forgot that they were gonna have a thing, or I didn't even remember the Soka having a thing with that this priestess. But after I realized, like, oh shit, no, I unsubscribed right away.
well, the thing too is like Hans or Han or whatever that guy's name in the tribe was supposed to be her husband, but she
She
called off the
declined.
wedding because the man of her dreams was Sokka, which is she is the fox that Sokka bumped into in the spirit
But
world.
how did she know?
So apparently, because the moon spirit, because she was supposed to be dead as a baby, right? So the moon spirit kind of like gave her a piece of her life, like a
So
Horcrux
she saw the
basically.
future.
So she kind of the spirit world, I mean,
No,
uh,
she just has
she has
part of the moon
dreams,
spirit in her.
part of the moon
Yeah,
spirit, and the
but
thing
like,
is,
So she can
if
travel the spirit world.
if you're an
okay.
elemental spirit, basically you kind of like time, like you're Victor Timely is time is relative, you know, uh, but basically, I guess she dreamt about that moment. And then again, maybe again with the pacing, maybe the spirit world thing would have been like months before, and she was supposed to marry
This
this guy, and
is
then
if Jong unsubscribed with Soka, this is for me where it this is not on the series. This is on Avatar, the media itself. Like maybe the original one where I don't like these tropes where all of their water bending is from the spirit, and the spirit on that night is mortal, and then there's this guy who knows about it and he can kill him and he kills all the water bending in the world.
yeah,
Like, I mean, that
I
was
did.
too much for me. Like,
I did like the line that, well, I'm not a monster. I'm not gonna kill the ocean spirit because that means I would kill all the waterbenders tribe. I'm just gonna take away their power. Like, okay.
that would
But
just
again,
offer me like there's too many things to align to
that's
get that. Like,
I mean that's the world building for you because that implies that the fire, earth, and what's the other one? Fire, earth,
air.
air came from somewhere too. Because it can't just be one tribe is spirit based and the others are just like natural. Like no. So yeah, so I agree with that. I agree with that.
It's just too many factors. The spirit and the moon
So many
had to
things
be
coincidentally happening.
had
Yeah.
to be alive for one day. It had to be that
Mm,
day. He
mm.
had to know about it. He had to have the weapon for it. He had to get there. He had to find it. Too many, man.
A lot of cinema sins, man. But again, it's Avatar. It's plus it's a kids show, so let's be honest here. It's a kids show. But
And
yeah,
I had an issue with Iroh as well. Like he already know what Zhao was gonna do, and he waits the last minute to attack him. Like you know he's gonna kill this thing that's gonna affect the world, and you wait last
yeah.
second before you attack. Kill it now. I'm sure he could have
Well,
taken all of them. Those four firebenders.
yeah.
Diba? But
Yeah, and the thing too is like for me, I mean, Sokka and Princess Yue, they're watching there, and they already know what was going to happen.
yeah, and Iroh hit him,
Couldn't,
diba? That's why he dropped
yeah,
the
the
bag.
knife.
And then
Couldn't,
no, he dropped the
couldn't
bag.
Yue, yeah.
And then
But
Iroh
the
wouldn't
thing
follow
is,
up, and he just went, "Oh wait, no, no, no!" And then he was able to stab it. Like,
well, plus for me with Princess Yue, you could waterbend the bag out of that thing and just protect,
or if
your
you were
gods
Ang,
basically.
why not push Zhao? Why do you have to do
Well,
that
Ang wasn't.
slow moving?
Ang wasn't. Oh yeah, that's true. Because I think
Right?
yeah, Ang made it back there. Yeah, but
He was,
there's
he
again,
levitated it a
there's
little bit, just enough for it to be stabbed.
he basically served it to
Yeah.
him, right? But again, like so things like that, cinema sins, right? It's kind of like we have this term, sabi ni Derek, eh, so let's just do that, right? But a
Too
lot of
many Deus
things
Ex Machina.
exactly. So they could have just solve the problem easily, but they didn't do it. But again, that's how
And
the story
also, one of
progressed.
my gripes is like, you don't think that uh that fleet could have taken that town
They
anytime
could have.
for the past 100 years? That fleet, that would have taken the towns
But here's
easily.
the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, so it's not, well, maybe not everybody knows the info, but I'm sure the very spiritual firebenders could have, like, you know what? If we tried to take the northern tribes during that one day that their gods are mortal, we could do it. But
I
in the
mean, they
past
were
100 years,
winning
they couldn't.
already. They were winning, and it was the strongest night of the waterbenders. That and they had
Yeah.
enough
So,
forces to spare to take Omashu.
well,
No one.
as revealed in episode 8, that the northern tribe attack was just a diversion because they really
That was
wanted to
just
attack
another version.
Omash.
That force.
And I'm like, so the Fire Nation is just a nation of diversions. That's the well. Okay, going forward. So of course,
They didn't even have. Did the water have any attacks? I didn't see them attack the ship. They only blocked
they
the catapults.
they
Did they?
blocked,
I
and
don't
then
think they
They had
did. They
range.
did they have
they
range? What
have
did they
ra-
shoot?
they have
I
range
don't think they
attacks.
have.
But the thing is, they really made it seem like it's an on. Okay, we've had siege battles in other media, right? So it's kind of like Helm's Deep-ish. But yeah, I mean, it's just basically to show how overwhelming force is the Fire Nation. And
No,
then now
and
that
how did this northern tribe survive for this long?
I guess
I
cold.
thought also I wanted shit done. Why is this even an issue?
Well, I don't know. Again, it's just a lot of. I mean, again, it's a children's show, right? So I mean, if they really made Avatar: The Last Airbender more of an adult,
No, I don't know if
uh,
this is about the show or the original show or this Netflix. I mean, they could have given them. They could have made it a little more 50-50. That's all I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
they
yeah.
could have made it a fight. You know what I
Because,
mean?
well,
Like,
the thing
this
is,
one was just overwhelming force by one side, and then
well, what they could have done, set design wise, they could have made the tribe like at the end of this really tight river, so only one
oh
single
yeah,
file
that's
ships
what.
could come in. That would make sense, right?
Yeah,
Because at
or
least,
make it
uh,
just give them more firepower to make it
yeah,
hard to get there
yeah,
or to get through
because at
them.
least if it's a single file ship, your numbers don't mean shit
Yeah,
because now
yeah,
you can just easy target, right?
yeah.
Or if they had icicles or
They
ice
had. They just
balls.
needed to give them some more offensive power.
So
But
and the thing is, like,
anyway, yeah.
but anyways, like, as you could see in the battle of Paku and Katara, she held her own.
And here's
So
Katara, who just learned icicles, holding on.
icicles,
I who just learned water bending in, is this a few months, a few weeks? Holding in on
self-taught,
again,
right?
not only against a master of water bending, a master of fire bending also.
Yeah. It's like the
Like,
idea of like I was surprised that within an episode she became from nobody to a master.
yeah, right?
Mhm.
Half
This
an
is like
episode, not even.
fucking.
So talk about people having issues with Ray using the Force real quickly. There you go, right? But again, I read online like, Aang should have been at this point should have learned these other elements. Like, okay, so you want your main character to be overpowered already? No, that's not a good story, right? So yeah, so so in 8, I mean, so yeah, so as we talked about already, Zhao was able to kill the Moon Spirit. So Moon Knight fans,
The moon
yeah,
disappears.
the moon disappears, and then Aang was this, of course, he was presented with this decision that, okay, in order to save the Water Tribe, at least the people of it, he has to make the decision to become the Ocean Spirit. And this became Godzilla. I mean, I wasn't
Yeah.
thrilled with the CGI on this one.
I think it was okay. My issue was
It
how
was,
many times is it gonna scream? It screams
Yeah.
so many times. Like
yeah.
Yeah,
Every
that was grating to me towards
every
the end.
time they showed it, there was always a scream like, oh, come
Like
on.
for me, that sequence could have been like maybe 15 seconds, 20 seconds shorter, and maybe
And it
save
moves
money on the
so
budget.
slow.
Yeah,
I
I'm
So
like
like,
the design
slow.
though. Like, okay, so
Yeah,
cool.
it
It looked
looked
like
no, I mean, even the CGI looked good for me. It's just so
I
slow.
yeah,
remember the Junin of
Gara?
uh
Or
Gara, right? It's
it
gotta,
like,
looked a
oh,
yeah,
little
it
bit
was
like that.
cool.
yeah. But for me, it's like, okay, so now he's destined to be a wandering spirit. Okay, I get it. So that's why Yue was able to, like, when Soka decided, well, is there a way to revive like what you
I
did Momo,
and I
right?
sorry, and I also didn't like the trope of oh you need to do this alone without your
Mm,
friends. Typical TV trope. But I understand it's from the children's review. And I'm happy that they
yeah,
only took less than an episode to deal to for him to realize the I need my friends. I'm Ang.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the thing is, like, yeah, even with Princess Yue, so I mean, she didn't die alone. She became the moon, and there's like a meme in the cartoons, like, "Oh, my girlfriend became a moon," and then Zuko's like, "Oh, that's rough, buddy," and I mean, so I do get it, but again, like for me, it's like, oh, you had Amber Mid Thunder, you could have used her a few more times, but then again, I want more Suki too,
I like
so we'll
Suki
see.
also.
So, but again, I mean,
I was
yeah.
researching.
Anyways,
I don't think even in Korra it's not confirmed who he ends up with.
who?
Who Sokka ends up with.
Oh,
It's not
even in
confirmed.
Korra,
Yeah,
I
it's not.
because
forgot. I mean, I don't even remember. I forgot.
in Korra, Aang already had kids with Katara,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's confirmed. But they didn't confirm who Sokka ends up with.
So Sokka became a playboy and he's still alive, but
Yeah, look
Korra's
at
son.
that.
Hell yeah, okay. But again, like it's a kid show, right? Anyways, but yeah. So anyway, so we found out that it's a diversion, and then of course one of the generals told Ozai like, hey, Zuko's ship was part of that attack, and Ozai was like, well, if he's strong, he'll survive.
I mean,
Wow,
to be honest,
dude.
that's what I would have said. I would like I'd be hoping in my heart na if he's
He's
strong, he'll
alive.
survive. Yeah, that's what I think he's strong. So I think he'll survive. That's what else can you do? I mean, it's miles away.
Yeah,
It's probably
yeah.
done.
Yeah, and the things is like, okay, so Zhao told Zuko that, well, you're just being a pawn. Because basically the reason Azula is so strong is like your dad played games with both of you kids to make you both stronger. So
That was a that was a cool explanation for me. Like, I didn't like Zhao a lot. Basically, all of the things that Chubax mentioned about the Deus Ex Machina and stuff, and just
Mhm.
being the right place at the right time. But when
Yeah,
he was explaining that, it's like I believed it. Like, ah,
yeah.
okay.
Like for me,
Your dad loves you in weird ways.
yeah. And the thing is, because of that
But he
explanation,
played you.
I would get the heel turn that Zuko will actually help Hang just to piss off his dad. I get
Yeah.
it now. But what I don't get, maybe in the cartoons it's more explicit, is Zhao dead? Because Iroh and Zuko kind of burned him, but he fell in that water. So, as you know,
Oh,
your typical trope,
in the anime,
he
he
died.
was taken by the spirit thingy,
Oh, okay. But he's
by the moon spirit or something. So he's
oh,
basically in that spirit world.
okay. So he's off the board now.
Yeah, he's
So
off the world.
we don't, ideally we don't see him in season 2 anymore, right?
No, I mean if they're gonna
Okay,
see him, they're gonna be in the spirit world.
spirit.
That's
Okay,
about it.
all right, cool. Okay, so yeah, so because like the usual trope, no body, not
I
confirmed
think
dead,
they
right?
show the body that was burnt, but
Yeah, but again, it was quite chaotic. That action, that set piece was like quite chaotic as well. Uh, I did like the effect that when the moon died, it got dark, and then everybody's like, I
and it
can't
was
bend."
like
Like,
black and white, a little black and
yeah, it was
white.
almost,
Black and
yeah,
white grayish, like
yeah,
desaturated.
yeah. So it's kind of like Dune, but talk about Dune. Denis
You'll
shot
have
that in
till next week,
infrared.
Zong. Watch it next week for
Yeah,
try to watch this week for next
Try
week
to
so you
watch
can
Dune.
join us.
it's a infrared shots. I mean, I'm excited just for that, the infrared shots. And
It's short,
okay,
but
but still, I mean, the blacks,
see, that's
it's
another depart. I love the choices. It's like, yeah,
yeah,
Denis shot it infrared black and white, but in the books, it's just like the planet is polluted and the sun can get through the polluted sky. That's why it looks like that. It's like, oh, cool,
yeah.
much more cool.
But the way it was shot is much better shot, right? But anyways, going back to Avatar, I mean, for me, if they spent more than 20 million on this episode, they could have saved a lot of money on CGI and even set pieces by compressing it a little bit. But they'll learn in season two. They don't have to blow their load at the last episode or something like that. Um, and let's be honest, there's going to be a season two. I mean,
I
it's
hope
number one
so.
in 73 in
Oh,
73
I hope
countries,
so.
and hopefully our concerns will be addressed. Acting lessons to the main cast. It's not that hard. They're young. And in the press tours, I mean, yeah, Gordon is a kid. Whoo, he's a kid. And for me, if I was, how old is he now? 13, 14. For
so that's the main. So when I saw the interview at Jimmy Fallon,
He's
mm,
dude,
14
the
now.
voice. It's just I think it's only 8-10 months since they last filmed. So different.
yeah,
The voice is so low. It's like, oh
his
my god.
voice,
I'm glad that they didn't have that
he got
timeline
puberty.
thing that they did.
Uh,
Oh,
But the thing is, they could address that.
yeah. I mean, they could just extend
Yeah,
the
the
Avatar
time
TV
they,
series timeline so
they could
that
just
they can
they could
account
do
for
a
the changes.
time jump. And the thing is, now that they know that, it's not a flop, right? It's not
No,
like
it's not. It's
it's
not bad.
it's
It's
not it's
just
not it's not Cowboy Bebop, right?
which Cowboy Bebop I loved. Oh,
See,
just yeah,
even though you
audience,
liked it, but the audience, they're
audience.
so
Yeah.
see. I get what Chubax is saying about the anime casting and adaptation, because anime has such it's almost Star Wars level of fanaticism with anime, that any deviation from what they saw in anime is always bad.
But the
Which for me
problem
is
with
like,
that nga is for the problem or the crux for the filmmakers is some shit don't translate well.
exactly. And
Mm.
what's the point? Just watch the fucking anime,
Yes, yes, I agree with you.
right? So
It's a
for
different thing.
me, the changes in One
It's
Piece, the
just
changes in
toxic fandom. Talaga.
yeah, the changes in Avatar, even Yu Yu Hakusho, the changes that they did, whether good
But
or bad,
they didn't announce if
it's
there's a season.
necessary. It's necessary, right? And Netflix will they're gonna be shooting themselves in the foot if they don't do it, at least a season two.
I'm sure. I mean, they've built so many assets for
Yeah,
the show.
and the thing too is
And
like
like Jong said about One Piece, where ano, it's driving viewers to the anime.
exactly, and the thing
So
is, uh,
at least there's that.
these I mean the fandoms that we have. If you didn't like this adaptation, there's always the cartoon. It's not as if the cartoon got erased. I mean, if you like with Star Wars, if you didn't
It's
if you didn't like the sequels, fine, don't watch it. Just remain in your trilogy or prequels, but don't bash people who like the sequels. Same thing with all these adaptations. It's not as if when the One Piece live action came out, it erased the 20 years of anime. No, it's not. I mean, you could always go
Yeah.
back to the anime, right? But the fact, for me, I mean, recapping everything with Avatar: Last Airbender, I wish I had time. I have time right now to watch the cartoons. It led me to the cartoons again because now now I know there's a payoff. Plus, it's gonna get better. Now I want to like for me, I can't. If it takes a year or two for season two to come out, I might watch the cartoons just to get
yeah.
my questions answered. Like, what's gonna happen? Blah blah blah. And the thing is, I saw the interview with Rufio and Dallas.
Yeah. Rufio.
Dude, man, like if Rufio approved of you, man, that's and even Rufio was like, Dev Patel, we're the three people who played Zuko. and I like that. Like even though the of course the movie did suck, Rufio kind of respected Dev Patel enough that, hey, you know what? It's not your fault, buddy. That's rough, buddy. The movie sucked, but you know, uh, but yeah, I mean, you know, the people who are bashing this adaptation in the fandom, like, guys, come on, like, But anyways, uh, there's a was it a mid credit scene or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
So Azula became Kakashi. Yes,
No,
there's
he
lightning now.
she. No, I think that's the each element has a higher level, and
Oh,
for fire it's lightning.
so it's like
So
Pokemon.
like Ozai can do that as well.
Water ice, diba?
Yeah, so water is like
Water
ice.
eyes.
I
What
don't
is
know what.
wind?
I don't know. Let me research it. But yeah,
Because what's the next level for Earth, right?
I think
It's
maybe magma
lava.
or something. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because okay, so yeah, so I did like the Kakashi, yeah, Chidori type of assets. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, again, I'm going ahead of myself. But season two, I can't wait. But
Okay, so here like
knowing,
for water
okay,
bending,
go ahead.
there's blood bending. I think
Ooh,
that's in
yeah,
Korra na. Earth is metal, and fire
metal.
is
Oh,
Okay,
lightning
metal
and blue
bending.
fire. So it's advanced form of air bending. That's what he's asking.
What's air bending? Fart.
I don't know. Some guy said, what did he do with the marbles? I'm not.
Because the thing is, when I thought about
It's
it,
maybe
if you're an
flight and
airbender,
astral projection though.
oh,
oh, okay.
but
That
the
makes
thing is,
sense.
with airbending, it can be very deadly. Because the thing is, all right, I'll take away the air around you, suffocate, right? I mean, you could
Oh,
technically do that, right? But anyways, airbenders are more peaceful. More he did explain it's more defense than attack, right? But yeah, again, like, so with succeeding seasons, so what Avatar's like 4 seasons, the cartoons.
mhm.
Learn
Book.
from Lord of the Rings, learn from other media, shoot them all at the same time. Because these kids will grow up. You
No,
don't
like
want a
what
30
what
year old.
what Jong said, they didn't give a date, so they could just put
They
time
could, yeah,
jumps.
they could make the timeline a little longer and
Yeah,
then change. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I hopefully with the success of Dune, more and more smart writers and showrunners
yeah,
will will take more risks in terms of changing the source material to make more sense to the times and stuff like that. So again,
exactly.
they can really, you
Yeah.
know,
But like
And the
make
that
thing is,
nangyari
instead
sa
of
Dune
again,
like
eh. Sa Dune Part 2, they cut out a time jump.
a lot. I mean,
It's supposed to be like
even
a 2-year time jump, but they made it like months lang.
big. I mean, I didn't, because I have no knowledge of Dune at all. At least the books, all the reviews, the synopsis that I've seen, it's like they cannot believe that very well. The fans thought that they were very important details, but if you really think about it critically, yeah, it makes sense. Like with the sister, right?
Mm.
mm,
It's on the book. It's a very important part in the book. It's very clear of what the sister does. They totally changed that because in the end, it's like it's creepy.
Yeah.
It's creepy to have
mhm,
a little tiny baby walking around like
It's
that. So it's
already
like,
creepy how
yeah,
they did it, but it was good.
but it's like
yeah.
now it's even smarter, right? So it's
So,
cool.
yes, yeah. So again, like what you just said, John, like, so Netflix hopefully green lighting 2 to 4, season 2 to 4. $20 million a budget, maybe add five more,
Oh,
five
I was
million.
gonna say maybe just
No, no, add 5 more million for writers, just writers.
Mhm.
The 20 million that they have right now with the episodes, I think they could get it tighter. I mean, talk to the effects people in RRR, for crying out loud. I mean, if they could, I mean,
I
that
know,
had
right?
firebending. That had firebending.
Okay, give us your rating, Arnie.
Yeah, but my rating. What was my rating last time?
You did 9, right? Or 8?
I think I gave it a 9.
No, you
I'll
gave
say
it an 8.
I
You
gave
the
it an
two of
eight.
you gave it 8.
Mm.
I'll give it. I'll give it an 8. Because again, it didn't like okay, like what Jong said. I do agree with some of it, and what you said, but it didn't push it back to the like. Okay, again, it's not One Piece that just got better. The whole thing, it just got better, right? 8. I'll give it an 8.
I'm giving it a 7. Again, it's the inefficiencies or the inadequacies of the pacing and their
Mm.
choices and the acting just wore on me as because I saw this I blocked off Thursday night to watch all of these straight, and then I was like, ah, okay, this I didn't have as much fun as the first time. But again, it's not bad. It's still super entertaining. I think majority of the effects was really good. Majority of the costume, I actually really like
The
a lot of
costume
the
designers,
costume.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
It.
when you see something bad, it's really bad. Like we saw the Bimu, his
Oh my
friend,
god.
horrible. The
I wa-
wig of
Sidebar when Bimo was captured, I'm like, yes.
when like the wig was
Oh,
of the
it's just
priestess
yeah.
jarring. But again, that's why I love the masks episode because the monsters look good,
Oh yeah.
the
That
tone
monster
looked
looked
good, the
scary, man.
mask looked good. So I was like, wow, that was a good filler episode for me. So I really enjoyed that. Schmax?
At the start of the review, I was high on it, but after talking about it, I went down. I'll give it a 7 again. I was gonna give it an 8, but I'll drop
Mm.
down to a 7. I enjoyed it. I hope it sees a lot of good things in the second season, in the second half, but also a lot of bad, particularly Zhao and the Moon Spirit thing. Really vibe with that. But
Mm.
yeah, looking more for Zuko and but spoiler,
Yeah, and
I think Zuko joins Team Avatar. I think because again I haven't seen it, but I think book 3. So hopefully
book
that's
3, yeah.
season 3.
I mean,
I've seen pictures
there's
of
a
them together.
yeah, there's a redemption arc first, but yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah, I hope they cast
I'm
the correct Toph.
oh yeah, because
That's
I've been
gonna be
hearing
good.
about Toph a lot, and
The blind
you know,
Earthbender.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think he's. I've seen a TikTok of all of their jokes about the blind person. It's like, oh, this is so cool that they're doing that. Okay, very
Cue the
progressive.
outrage if they cast somebody who's not blind.
I'm sure it's. I'm sure it's. I oh, see, that's the thing. If they cast somebody that is blind, the
Oh,
risk
it's
is
just
they're
it's a
not
woke,
acting
it's
well
a
enough,
woke, it's a woke
and
acting,
then
yeah. And
they
if you don't,
cast somebody that is not blind. That but a good actor. Their complaint will be, why are
Mm,
you not casting a
I'd be
blind person?
fine if
So.
it's not blind. They just try. If they can find
It needs to be
somebody
good. For me, priority
that
is
can
good. Look
act,
at fucking nobody's complaining about Daredevil,
Charlie Cox. Well,
yeah.
Charlie
right?
Cox is
Because he's
Charlie
really
Cox.
good. Yeah, we love him.
Yeah, but I mean, let's see, because the Earthbenders.
I mean,
Okay,
it is acting in the end. You're
in
acting to
the
be
end, it's acting,
somebody
right?
else.
So, so I think okay. So the Northern Tribe or the Water Benders more of Native Americans, right? Fire Nation is more of Asians or
Mm-hmm.
Chinese Asians. Earthbenders seem like they're Indians.
Could be, yeah.
So are they gonna hire
Middle
an
Eastern.
Indian girl, Middle Eastern lady?
Toph
Maybe Layla
was
from
Toph was like
what?
Asian
a
looking.
little,
Yeah,
yeah.
but Layla is older though. Like the actress is older, so no, maybe not. Maybe they'll find an
And they're gonna
Middle
get a
Eastern
younger one.
Indian.
Yeah.
Maybe
Uh,
come maybe Iman Villani, but that's too big of a name though.
hold
Too
on.
big of a name.
Yeah.
I mean, she could be great. I mean,
She's a
make
good
her
actor. All
she's
right.
a great
Well,
actor and make her blind. I mean,
hmm.
but
All
anyways,
right.
whatever. We're speculating.
That is our review of the second half and the first season of Avatar: The Last Bender. Again, if you
The last.
seen it, watch it, come back, discuss with us. Next week, we'll be discussing Dune Part 2 as our movie of the week. I'm very excited. I have
Hopefully, I
so
get to watch it either
Yes,
tonight
watch it.
or tomorrow.
Watch it
it's
Because
IMAX,
Cheska wants to
please.
watch it. Because Cheska wants to,
Watch it
Timothée
IMAX, please.
Chalamet.
It
Uh,
is a cinematic experience that everybody should
Needs to
really
be.
really enjoy. I'm
like
very happy
I'm
about
in.
it.
I'm in for Lady Jessica, man, and I'm gonna try to get that popcorn.
Every single one on the screen. Stars Guard, Austin Butler, Timothy
You
Chalamet.
It's like Oppenheimer also.
You
you
can't
have
miss.
you have Anya Taylor
Cannot
Joy
miss.
and Florence Pugh. I mean,
Or
come on.
even the best friend of Chani can't miss. Like
Mm.
I
not a
mean,
single person on screen. Oh my god. Well, we can't wait to discuss it next week. But again, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/plus63hp. We're on twitch.tv/plus63hp. And our handle for all of the socials is at plus63hp. On behalf of CHUBAX, on behalf of Arnie, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.
yip yip.